We should all listen to the language of the sea.
Scores of seal carcasses have been washing up on beaches in South Africa.
Holidaymakers and Cape Townians were alarmed a few days ago when a seal attacked.
Why is this happening and what are the officials doing about it?
It felt like there was a reason why I had chosen to paint seals.
This beautiful thing, so peaceful, so calm.
So many people wanted to dive with seals, but then that all changed.
What we were seeing in 2021 was different. It felt like, there's something else going on there.
The aggression that we were seeing was so out of the ordinary, we didn't know what it was.
I heard somebody scream and then I saw her on the ground with a seal on top of her.
I was struggling for my life.
I've suggested that rabies could be in seals. People thought I was cooked. And we're sitting here now, we've got rabies in seals.
We don't know what effect rabies will have in a marine ecosystem because we haven't seen this before.
I believe if we take care of the sea will take care of us.
It's a real shame if we've not managed to act to conserve our wildlife.
We cannot afford to do nothing.
The worry is that nothing will come out. We're at the beginning. It's not the beginning. This is just the beginning of when people are listening.
We worked for 3 years on this film. Principally Floris Tils, who is in Amsterdam. Shout out to Floris. He is the director of the film and he is watching online. So anyone who is dialing in on the World Wide Web can ask him any questions in the sort of question section as you guys go along. And myself as the producer and Theko as the enigmatic and most sensitive, wonderful narrator and artist. We'll try our best to sort of bring our experience in making this film to the fore as much as possible. I just wanted to, before we start and get into it, because this film is, it has some sensitive viewing, so I just want to warn everyone in advance that it is tricky to see seal carcasses and some not so savory images, but there is no violence. Just to know that this is all sort of done with the Sea Search team, and that's the kind of images that you'll be viewing. And then we couldn't be here this evening if it wasn't for the very kind hosts from the Dyer Island Conservation Trust that invited us here. We always feel so grateful to have a platform to be able to spread the news about what's going on in our most beloved ocean, the lungs of the planet. So yeah, and we also just want to say a special thank you to Wilfred, Susanne and their team. We feel very lucky to be here this evening. Without further ado, I'm going to play a video that our director Floris sort of made. So this is just a little intro to a message that he had for everybody.
3 years into this journey, and still it all feels like it all came out of the blue.
There's a seal colony right here.
With my first feature-length documentary, Out of the Blue, Unravelling the Mystery of the Cape Fur Seals, I'm trying to make a big positive impact for our planet, especially the ocean. This project started 3 years ago when I started documenting the work of Sea Search Africa. They were very alarmed by some die-offs of Cape Fur seals, and they didn't know why they were dying, so they started researching this. And I started documenting their work. from there on, the story grew and grew and grew, and it just evolved into something much bigger than I ever anticipated.
Unusual behavior, unusual aggressive behavior.
Rabies is a deadly virus. In the past few weeks, several Cape Fur seals have tested positive.
The film also tells a story of people whose lives are most impacted by the changing behavior of the Cape Fur seals. It tells the story of Debbie Hendricks, who got attacked by a seal and found herself in a life-threatening situation because of it. And it also tells the story of Steve Benjamin, who is the owner of a seal snorkeling business that unfortunately couldn't continue. The film is blessed by the beautiful voice of Theko Boshomane. He's an artist and painter, and he paints beautiful canvases of kelp forest and seals, and after meeting him I felt right away that if I would collaborate with him on this film, that the film would just go to a next level. And it really did. So the film combines science, art, and a lot of emotional stories, and I believe that it can really touch people. As this is the first time that there's an outbreak of rabies in our oceans in the history of the world, we believe that we urgently need more specialized people working on this to really understand what's happening. We've been organizing impact screenings in and around Cape Town, and this has given us hugely valuable insight into how people perceive the film. We found out that creating animations that explain the science and re-editing key scenes will make the film much more powerful and engaging. We believe that the eyes of the world should be on this. And by funding a high-end sound mix and color grade, the film will be appealing for international platforms. Our deepest drive with this film is to have a positive impact for the seals and for our oceans. We have big plans with this film, and they could actually become a reality. If this film reaches a global audience, the impact that it has for the ocean will be the biggest. And with your support, we can make that happen.
That was a thoughtful introduction from our director, Floris Tils. 3 years ago, he contacted Sea Search Africa to say that he noticed that there was a sort of discrepancy in what was happening in the SEAL community, and that he wanted to get involved with them to make a film. And they said, absolutely, this was actually what we're busy investigating, and Floris would come down to Cape Town sporadically a couple of times a year over a 3-year period and follow the Sea Search team as they investigated what was happening within the SEAL community. During that time, he met Theko Boshomane, who is the gentleman standing here next to me, and who is also the, as mentioned in the video, the thoughtful, kind and very sort of caring, and I guess what the beautiful thing that Theko brings to the film is that he is with Floris, was discovering what was happening to the SEAL community as a member of the general public. So not as a scientist, but as a deep feeling, sensitive, observant artist. And it's through his eyes that we sort of see the uncovering of what is happening within the community. I'm going to let him speak to his experience in being a part of this film. It was his first sort of feature-length film that he was a part of as well, and what it felt like to be on the forefront of the uncovery of all of this, because as it was uncovering, Theko was also there sort of experiencing it, and it's been a crazy thing. It's unprecedented what's happening in the ocean with the seals at the moment, and Theko has lived experience of working very closely with the team. So I'm going to let him intro his experience.
Hello everyone. I would say my name is Theko Boshomane, as they introduced me. Artists are usually very shy to talk in public, and which is the same with me. So, as someone who would take inspiration from the ocean and go to the studio to produce work in their own little corner, in their own little space, where they feel they need to translate whatever inspiration that is coming through. When I met Floris, as he already explained, he started explaining to me what is happening to the seals. Because at the time I was painting seals for their beauty. I'm experiencing this beautiful creature for the first time. It's joyous, and I'm seeing people taking pictures of it. I'm seeing people go closer to it, and as they get closer to it, it kind of like tells them to not interfere in that space. And I find that fascinating, because when it went into the water, it's as if it's trying to entertain whoever is in front of them. And then it was really just beautiful for me to really capture that as a metaphor of really what happens in the internal world, in all of us. And then suddenly I'm told about this thing, I'm told about them dying in the beginning, and it's from Floris. He tells me when he meets me, when we're having conversation, he tells me that this is what is happening, and it becomes a shock, and it changes the way in which now I view the inspiration, because then I see that the inspiration to create now is no longer to create from a space of things just being joyous, but from also the space of creating awareness and understanding that this is a serious thing. And with Floris taking me through the journey, with meeting the victims, with really hearing their stories and seeing how they are affected, this film gave me an opportunity to really expand and allow me today to be able to not be that shy artist, but because I think we need to really speak, and I think this film really brings into attention what is really happening to the Cape Festival.
Yeah, I just want to, before we open for Q&As again, just bring Floris into the space, even though he's in the Netherlands. This young man, even though he's not from South Africa, is very, very passionate about the oceans and about our wildlife, and dedicated a lot of time and effort to this project. So yeah, I just felt like I wanted to say thanks to him again. Okay, everyone, I'm ready for questions, and I think Theko is as well.
Has there been any incidents of a shark, for example, eating a fur seal and the rabies being passed on?
So no, not that I'm aware of. No, not that I'm aware of. Hypothetically, I think because it's not a mammal, I don't know if it would be as easily affected.
So it's not a stable virus at all. So if it gets exposed to the environment outside the body of the animal, it usually dies. So if a seal would be eaten by a shark, the stomach acids would just kill off the ones.
There you go. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. So nice to have a vet in the house. But Mike is coming back to you later.
So typically animals who have rabies exhibit hydrophobia. How do the seals interact with water? Are they afraid of it in some way, or?
No, not obviously the sort of cases that have been observed show seals just behaving very erratically, but not that they're showing any real aversion toward it. So it's foaming at the mouth, it's erratic movements, it's increased aggression, it's hyper sort of spiked big energy being exhibited, but there's been no hydrophobia that we know of.
Do you have any rabies in our seals on Dyer Island?
We have had 2 positive cases. Thank you, sir.
Dead on the beach, dead on the beach.
But they are both deceased.
Likely, we've likely had a few processes.
Okay.
Because we picked up sealed bodies in the area and they were sent off for tests and some of them did test positive.
What is your name?
Anne-Marie.
Thank you, Anne-Marie. There have been about 100. I did chat to the Sea Search team just before presenting to you this evening, and they have, from their side, have at least 100 cases of confirmed rabies in the seal colonies off our coast.
I want to know if we will be able to do something. What are those options?
So, as far as I have been sort of brought into the knowledge with Sea Search, is that everyone is mobilized for this. This is unprecedented. This is literally like those big zombie movies that you see where it's, there's a really terrible thing coming and we can stop it, and it's starting on our shores, right? We know that it is the jackal variant, so we know that that's how it sort of came into the oceans, based on the variant of the rabies disease that was found. And what we can do is we can support our scientists. So this is brand new information. This has never ever before happened. It wasn't, we didn't know that it was possible for land mammals to affect ocean mammals with the same diseases. If Anne-Marie will probably be able to attest to that. So this means that we need to support our scientists. The scientists are going to save us, and the scientists are going to save our seal communities. Seals are also indicator species, so generally they are red herrings. They are the start of other things to follow. So it's really, really important that we mobilize now, we spread the word. For me, I would say it's not, from a personal perspective, from what I've seen, is we don't want to ever vilify these creatures, because it's not their fault. They are victims of the disease, and we can support our scientists so that they can observe colonies. So they need funding to be carefully directed into being able to observe the colonies, being able to tag the colony members, being able to really keep a careful eye on the seals in our community. Vaccinations, of course, we do not know how effective they are yet, but we are trying our best. I love this collective we. It's not me, of course, I'm speaking on behalf of the scientists here. They are trying their best to vaccinate as many seals as possible. We are at the Two Oceans Aquarium team are the ones that are doing the most sort of up-to-date testing on the seals that have been vaccinated to sort of keep an eye on how effective these vaccinations are. So it's threefold, right? It's supporting our scientists in terms of they're having enough funding to be able to increase the observations on the colonies and thus increasing the knowledge that we have on this new disease, supporting them with their vaccinations, being able to get out there and vaccinate as many seals as possible. Most seals that are in areas that come into contact with people have all been vaccinated. So seals at the V&A waterfront have all been vaccinated. Seals at the Cock Bay Harbour, seals in Hout Bay Harbour, they really try to target most of the spaces in which they do interact with us. And then there's the sort of research side of things that we can support. So we can help. We can help by observing our seal colonies. I know you all live very close to the sea. I don't want to make too many assumptions, but you do live really close to the ocean here in Gans Bay and in this area, and there's this beautiful, abundant, thriving community. So if you see something, say something. Don't keep silent. Let your local vets know. Phone the SPCA. Let people know if you see seals behaving strangely. And it's very clear, we know seals. We know that they're like the Labradors of the ocean. When they're being strange, it's very obvious. I also think it's important to note, because I know that there were quite a few bodies that washed up on the shore here as well. Domoic acid is still an issue as well. And then that takes it back to just being always, for all of us to be aware about how it is that we engage with our environment. It's every small bit counts, whether we recycle, whether we just say no to that one extra piece of plastic, and how aware we are of our environment. Domoic acid is still an issue, and now so is rabies. So, long answer. Yes?
Thank you very much. congratulations on an amazing documentary. What has the response been from the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment? Because they are effectively the ones who are responsible for the management of our marine environments. So what has the response been there?
I can speak to the very real support that we as a documentary filmmaking team have received from Greg Olose, who is responsible for the Western Cape sort of oceanic region. They have been extremely supportive. We have shown our film to the Deputy Mayor of Cape Town, and we have gotten a couple of government officials in the room with us there. We are hoping to spread the word further with this film, and it is extremely helpful to have something that congruently tracks the cases. I can't speak for the global, on a national level, unfortunately, but I can say that from a Western Cape perspective, there is a lot of focus and support there, particularly from Greg and his team. They've been really, really amazing and sort of vouching for us as a production as well, and saying, help these guys get the message out. So I think intention is very much there. Our voices are really important, so the more we push and the more we force people to take note, the more they do. So again, it's posting, asking the government, tag and ask, what are we doing? Where's the funding going? Because it's really important to think about the human elements, and of course it's scary, we could get bitten by seals, but what is happening with our marine environment? The conservation issue, as the scientists at CSIRCH say, is really, really important. So tag them, ask them, yeah.
So this is a question I think that the vet can probably answer. It's for great production. In Denmark, 60% of the seal colony was lost to distemper virus. And I think I just wanted to raise that because it's important, I think, to also understand that other viruses also impact seal colonies, things like distemper. So I just wanted to raise that, maybe the vet has a comment on that.
So added to that, while you're up, can you also let our community know if they should see something, what is the correct way of reporting it in our immediate area? Right, as far as distemper in our sort of general dog population, it is not particularly prevalent. I haven't seen distemper myself for years. But it is around. I mean, it's one of the diseases we vaccinate against, we vaccinate our dogs against. So it's very definitely a disease that can spread to seals because they are kind of dog-like. Yeah, so yes, I would actually advise rabies and general vaccination drives in the dog population so that the spread to the seal population would not happen. That would be ideal. Okay, and then as far as reporting funny behavior among the seals, it is normally, if you report it to APS, the Penguin and Seabird Sanctuary, we will take it from there and report it to the state vet, and they normally come out and help us. And there is sort of seal groups in the area that all, like Tess is on one of the groups and so on, so we report further up to them and they report it to the relevant authorities.
So sorry, just to be clear, that would be the penguin rescue line. So you can also report seal sightings or anything crazy with seals to that number.
It was a lovely production, thank you. As an ex-member of the Oceans Aquarium for 27 years, I've done extensive work disentangled the seals in the harbour. They had huge amounts of box bangs and fishing lines around their necks, so we took it on ourselves to disentangle them. So this rabies now has made it a little bit more difficult because you're swimming among the seals under the jetties and you could easily come across one of these blokes. But anyway, what I did, and I had myself vaccinated against rabies, and most of the staff that work in the water at the aquarium have had that done. So it does help. I like to dive and swim every evening, so I just feel a little bit safer. Whether that helps, I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my thinking. Thank you.
I have a question for you, sir. What was it like getting the vaccination, the rabies vaccination? We've had quite a few people ask. I haven't chatted to anyone who's been vaccinated for rabies. Was there any side effects or all good?
I think I felt a little bit, strange for a day or two, a couple of days afterward, but it really wasn't anything to talk about or worry about.
Cool.
And I felt fine since,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
That's very
It's when I just went to the doctor here in Palestine and I wanted to know why you need this. I said, well, they're preventing with rabies and I like to be in the water, so, and he said, okay, fine. He sent me to the chemist and they ordered it and that was it.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for answering and thanks for the work you do.
All right, guys, thank you so much for participating. We love questions, we always do. But again, thanks to you and your team for sharing. We're all very curious to see the full one, so please keep us updated when that's available. I'm sure you guys will want to see that too. It has been amazing to see the extended trailer. So thanks for that.
The reason why we had these wonderful people coming here tonight is because we do actually do a lot of seal work. Kira, Kolani, Henny, Vicky, you guys just come here quickly, please. So a lot of the seal work that we do is if the seal is entangled in netting, we have a special tool and we throw it over from the boat. We hook the seal and we drag it up to the boat and we cut it loose. We just do it all the time. If we find them on the beach, we have special tools to catch them. And then sometimes we go on to Dyer Island, to Giza Rock. If there's something that, if we see that there's not a lot of seals, we won't cause a lot of disturbance. And then these guys, they have to swim from the boat. Where's little Annie? Come here. So they swim onto the island, they catch the seal, and they do the job. Just a few months ago, it's strange how life can quickly change your perception. I've been bitten by the seals lots of times. Dickie has been bitten by the seals lots of times. Because it's a wild animal, and if you suddenly interfere with it, it doesn't bite you because it's vicious, it bites you because it's afraid of you. So if you don't have enough hands and can't stand wide enough, then you can get bitten. But just a few months ago, these guys were standing at my office table right here, and there's a seal that put a really very tight thing around its neck on the island. Many seals die with these entanglements. And it's a horrible thing. So I've, in the past, killed a few seals that we couldn't help and we couldn't leave. So I said to them, I don't care a damn if you get bitten. Just get the thing off the seal's neck. So, and you got bitten. But I didn't care because that's a little wound and we can easily, that's just a bit of pain and so we get a special injection. But 3 months later, we heard that there's rabies amongst the seals. So suddenly, I can never say that again. Because now it becomes a death warrant for these guys. So if we go out to a seal now, we are a lot more alert. I'm so glad that that gentleman is over there. I actually forgot that he's in the area. I'm going to tow him in because he's got all the knowledge and he can help us in difficult situations and so on. But we get a lot of calls from seals, and many times the seals don't, there's nothing wrong with them. And just the funny part of it is they say the seal is acting strange. And I said, what do you know about seals? No, it's the first time I see one. So I thought it was acting strange. But I just wanted to tell you, thank you very much for the work that you do. I know Simon and Tess for a long, long time. They're amazing. I speak to them quite often, but I haven't thanked them for this work that they've been doing, and I will definitely tomorrow reach out to them. And thank you for that.
Thank you, Wilfred. For those of you who have not met Wilfred yet, Wilfred is our CEO and he's also the founder of the Dyer Island Conservation Trust. And he is a big inspiration for, I think, many of us living in Gansbaai.